Hello, I'm Dennis Morgan. Who I am, I'm 54 years old. I'm originally from and currently living in Cleveland, Ohio. What brought me here is most of it, I am currently have an empty nest. Both of my children are grown up now and off on their own. So last 12 years, they've been kind of a focus of my life. So I've been working here locally in education. So I also am here because I'm really good at finding opportunities. I found a lot of good opportunities and take pride in that skill. So I know that this is a good opportunity. What I bring is enthusiasm. I think I bring that to any potential host or the cohort in general. I believe that hope is a discipline. I bring experience from working on two continents and working very close with people from six continents. I think that diversity is the ultimate strength, and I've really seen that in my work experience. As far as fundraising, I'm not so sure how I feel if I believe that I'm the person to do this as far as fundraising in my network. That's something I haven't really had a lot of experience with, but looking at your material, I'm kind of excited about the prospect. I have thought about doing it in the past, but I definitely need to make it the right opportunity. It's not something that I plan to do repeatedly, so that's something that I think I'm open to just because I haven't. I've always sought mostly from traditional sources. I've done some income generation for different organizations, but mostly grant writing and grant funding has been my experience. Uh, what I think about moral ambition. I think moral ambition is what I've been calling my own personal lack of ambition uh, for most of my life. I think it's just a real desire to have a positive impact in the world more than to worry about financial things. Now it's always a blessing not to have to worry about financial things, but moral ambition I just think is speaks for itself. I think it's something that this world needs more of, and I think helping to define it is something that can be very positive. Now, what I think is most pressing in the food system in the United States and in general is sustainable development and the lack of focus there. With my education, I really kind of hoped to be working in a sustainable development field that really hasn't developed. I have experience going back to 1992, working with the first Earth Summit in Rio, and I worked with Local Agenda 21 in Europe. Over the last couple of decades, there's really been a divide in vocabulary on the different continents. When I returned, most of the people were not familiar with what I had been working with, even at the university level. You know, specifically for the United States, though, I think the biggest problem is agricultural runoff. You know, I'm 54 years old, and the Clean Water Act came out about 50 years ago, and they put in an exemption for agricultural runoff at the time. Now, I don't think any of the original framers of the Clean Water Act thought that this exemption would still be going strong 50 plus years. So I really think this is something that is most pressing and really can be documented to show specific cases, of illness, having runoff go on fields of green. I think it's well documented. Uh, what do I hope to take from this opportunity? Well, number one, I think it's interesting, this idea of fundraising within my network. This is something I have thought of in the past, but I didn't really feel uh, the right opportunity or time had come. It's something I think I can leverage, but I think I would need support with that, and I think that's something that this opportunity brings. Aside from that, what I hope to get, aside from obviously being a lifelong learner, I get an opportunity to network. And I hope to take full advantage of that. I think that's all we can ask for, and I think that's all I'm ever looking for. So I thank you for your time, and I appreciate you not judging here on production qualities, and I wish you a good day. Thank you.